Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Panther fans by Panther fans. My name is Cody Lashley, back here with you again on another wonderful Friday evening. We appreciate each and every single one of you spending your Friday here with C3 and being a part of the action, man. If you would like to join the show today, well, by golly, we have the link for you. The link to join the Streamyard is pinned at the top of the YouTube chat and pinned at the top of the Facebook chat. We did a short schedule reaction on Wednesday to make up for our lack of a Tuesday show, but now we're going to get the thoughts of the C3 Legion and talk about this schedule, the ins and outs, and put our thumb on the pulse of Panther Nation. First up, you know I'm going to do it with my man. You know him, you love him. Panther Pickle, what's up?
What's up, guys? Today on this very show, I'm going to tell you what I think of Vivero Jero going into this season. May not be nice, but that's my opinion.
I'm actually finding myself pretty hopeful. I don't know if it's Jero that I'm hopeful about, but definitely hopeful about this defense going into 2025. But listen, man, you know it wouldn't be a free-for-all without my man, my brother, the brand ambassador himself, D's Ill Skills. Brother D's, what's up, man?
Nothing much, Cody. Feeling great, ready for another Friday free-for-all. It should be an exciting show. This schedule drop or schedule release by the Carolina Panthers was interesting to say the least. But me, you know, I've got a lot of bias about these schedules, and I always hate them when they come out. I always feel like it's not fair enough to the Panthers. It's not helping out the Panthers enough. All these things I never do feel are justified for how they do our schedule. One of the things that I noticed while kind of digging into it, looking into the rankings of the schedule and how teams did last season, we've got, I believe it is 5 different teams that we play that had 4 or 5 wins. So 5 wins equal to what the Panthers put up last season, okay? Then there's 6 teams that we play that amassed a total of 10 wins last season. That total doubling what the Panthers were able to put up in 2024, okay? Then the final 6 games left are against teams that had about 8 wins, including Dallas with 7. All of those teams were contending for the playoffs. So look how evenly spaced out that schedule is in terms of last season, right? Now, I know we're like, they say bottom 5 schedule strength, but those aren't exactly pushover teams by any means. I think the Panthers got their work cut out for them. We've got some work to do, but what I feel we can do is we can become one of those 8-win teams, at least a team that's contending to make the playoffs, like a lot of these other teams that we play this season. And what the Panthers have got to do, Cody, they've got to find a way to separate themselves from those other teams. And we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited for the show tonight. Cody, I'm ready to roll.
Let's roll, brother. Like I said, if you would like to be a part of the stream and join the conversation, Lord knows we have plenty of room, people. Come and be a part of it. Hey, man, listen, this schedule is one that I've seen so many differing opinions on. Make yours be one of them. Join the stream, and we will talk about this schedule. These you already started, but I wanted to sort of jump right back into the meat of this discussion about this schedule. We did some reacting to it, and one of the takeaways that I came away with, I'd be interested to hear your opinion, is that the start of our schedule from games 1 through 5, in my opinion, seemed fairly favorable. I mean, Miami Dolphins are a tough out, but I think that we have a perfect opportunity to be able to start strong. And if you look at that bye week, week 14 right there, that is right before you have to play 3 division games in 4 weeks. To me, if you're a contending football team who's looking to fight for the division, that bye week at that point in time is absolutely pivotal. Other than that, Deez, what were some of your first initial thoughts and reactions to this schedule?
Oh, I was mad when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh, this is garbage." We got two games on the road to start out the year again. I think what was our last home opener? Wasn't it Baker Mayfield against the Browns? Wasn't our last home opener? And then before that, we had Sam Darnold versus the Jets. I was at that game, unfortunately, Cody. That was not cool to be at a home opener and be excited and watch Sam Darnold go out there and not play well versus the Jets. But I was
there at the home opener last year versus the Chargers. And that was abysmal, dude.
Oh, God. Yeah, we get off to a slow start. And that's the thing, right? So 2 road games starting this year. We can't do like we did last year. Remember the first game of the season, not the home opening game, but the first game of the season for the Panthers. What did we do? We went out there, and the Saints dropped 50 on our defense. It was not a good day to be a Carolina Panthers fan whatsoever, and not a good way to start the 2024 season. So what I'm trying to get at here is with these 2 games on the road and then our home opener versus a division rival, Atlanta, we've got to get off to a hot start. That's something I heard Anthony say as well when he saw the schedule drop, and I agree with him 100%. The Panthers have got to hit the ground running. We can't afford to do like we did last year, struggle, bench Bryce, bring in Andy Dalton, have Andy Dalton get into a car wreck, bring Bryce back in, all this mess we went through. Derek Brown getting hurt, Shaq Thompson getting hurt. We have to stay healthy, first of all, especially at cornerback, and we've got to get off to a quick start. It does maybe we don't win that Jaguars game, but we've got to be competitive. We can't have a complete blowout, a complete failure like we did last year. I think that's one of the keys here. Jacksonville only won 4 games last year. There's not a whole lot of reason for us to be afraid. And it was the same. It's the same thing looking at who was it? The other 4-win team, New England. New England only won 4 games last year.
Yeah,
and we're playing them early in the season. We can't afford to go out here and let either one of those teams make us look bad. We've got to at least be competitive, be in the ball game, give Ryan Fitzgerald a chance to come in and win the game for us. You know what I mean? The defense has got to hold. And I think that's the biggest thing to me about this schedule in its entirety and trying to give you some kind of win total. I don't know what we have. Because defensively, we were horrible last season. We really struggled. We looked bad out of the gate. They had a few good games, but we sent J.C. Horn to the Pro Bowl with only 1 interception. Total sacks was, I think, 32, somewhere in there. Like, we weren't getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Now, we revamped the front 7, and I think every single Carolina Panthers fan will tell you, Cody, they'll say, look, the front 7 on this defense is a lot better than it was last year. But that's got to make you think, Pickle, if the front 7 is failing and not getting the job done, then whose fault is it? It's not the players' fault at that point, is it?
No. It's the defensive coordinators, and that's why I think Evero is going to be better this year. And I still don't like him. Nobody misunderstand that, but Evero's at a critical stage in his career. A lot of people. Some people across the league really like him. Y'all know I'm really into the rumors space, all right? And a lot of folks in there just like Evero. And I looked into Evero had 1 good year in Denver, basically. 1 good year. He can only ride that 1 good year for so long. If he fails as a defensive coordinator with the talent on this roster now, it's purely on him. It's not on the players. It's not on the offensive coordinator. It's not on the head coach. It's not on the owner. It's all on him. It sets on his shoulders. If he fails miserably, and it's on him. It can only be on him. So therefore, he's has to go in and realize some of the mistakes he did last year. He's got to take a chance and and undo the mistakes. He can't just drop everybody back in zone coverage and say Merry Christmas. You know, he can't just say, well, maybe Jimmy Dirt can cover this elite receiver for a few minutes. No, that's not going to work. You have to rotate your guys. You got to put the best on the best. And if he can't get it done, he should be out before the end of the season.
I agree. And one of the things that we've spoken about a bunch before is the ability of J.C. Horn to move around in the defense. And I really think that we do need to do that. But part of me does wonder how much of the criticisms that we have of Avero's defense, how much of that is just him having to compensate for the roster talent that he has available to him. And which also goes back to a lot of him being successful this year is going to be determined upon how many of these newly signed defensive players and newly signed rookie draft picks are actually going to be meaningful contributors to the team this year. Because if they're not, there are parts that could even be worse than last year if we don't really come across some new talent. But you were talking earlier, Deez, about Jacksonville and their record and the records of some of the teams that we faced earlier. That's why I think we have a perfect opportunity to really come out of the gate strong. We were one win better than Jacksonville last year. They have a lot of turnaround. As you've all mentioned before, people still wonder about Trevor Lawrence. Is he the man like a lot of people thought that he was? Is he a bum? We're really asking this question about Bryce as well. So, and on top of that, both the Panthers and the Jaguars picked up a dynamic weapon in form of Nalo, T-Mac, and Travis Hunter. So, to me, that is going to be a real momentum test. And Deez, I don't know if you caught what Pickle said at the start of Wednesday's show, but the last two times that the Panthers went to the Super Bowl, brother, reopened up the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
I'm just saying, maybe that's all the sign that we need, boys. I don't know.
That's it.
Well, that's just how. Let me just go real quick, people. That's
Go ahead,
that's
go
where
ahead,
we
go
want to
ahead.
get things going quickly on the offensive side of the ball as well. Bryce has got to get this timing down with T-Mac just as quick as possible. When we look back at the matchups that Nalo had with Travis Hunter in college, the second time they met up, there's that one highlight of him going up catching that ball over Travis Hunter, but like that game, he only caught for 40 yards. And Travis Hunter only played 10 snaps that whole game. So there's not a lot to go back and look on to where Tet was completely dominant over Travis Hunter. There's just not, there's not a whole lot of information there. So you gotta think it's going to be kind of the same going into this matchup. But what I do like is that this new coach for Jacksonville, and that was one of the things I was pointing out this week, is that the coaching staff was not the only thing wrong with this Jacksonville team. That's not the only reason why Jacksonville simply won 4 games last season, because of the coaching staff. So they bring in Liam Cohen from the Bucks and expect him to resurrect this team into something that I don't think that it ever was. I don't think it is that good now, even with Travis Hunter. I think you put him up against J.C. Horn, which goes back to what you're saying. You better move him across the field. You better move J.C. Horn across that field to cover Travis Hunter, I would think, or Brian Thomas Jr., either one. Both of them certainly are threats to our defense. So we've got to move guys around and have some tricky coverage on the field, and we haven't seen that in the past where we drop it into straight quarters, things like that. Might not be effective against Cohen, because he ran the ball just fine on us with Bucky Irvin, and that's where it really starts on defense. But offensively, we've got to click. I think we've got to play to our strengths against Jacksonville and run the football. I don't think that Jacksonville had one of the best run-stopping units by any means last year. We go in there week 1 and we force our will upon the Jacksonville Jaguars, bullying them up front with the strength of this Panthers team, the offensive line, giving the ball to Rico, giving the ball to Chuba Hubbard, wearing them down throughout the course of the first half, then getting into the play action in the second half. You've got to like our chances week 1 against Jacksonville at that point, with them only having 4 wins last year. You've got to think that we've got a good shot of wearing those guys down in the heat down there in Jacksonville, Cody.
Yeah, I really do, man. I think that it's a favorable matchup. I'm going to be really pumped for week 1 of the NFL season for the Carolina Panthers. Let me welcome in Nick from Tri-State. Nick, what's up,
good,
dude?
fellas? How y'all doing? Am I
How are
coming
you,
in
brother?
good?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
good.
Good. How y'all doing? All right.
Doing good, man. What do you make of this brand new Panthers schedule for the 2025 season, man? What are some of your initial? Yeah, go ahead.
Very, very favorable, bro. I would say.
Yeah,
I think it's very
agreed.
favorable. As far as Jacksonville, they messed up not getting Mason Graham. I think we're gonna have a lot of success running up the interior, running up the middle on them specifically. They got some guys who could set the edge, but I still like Icky and Moten's chances on Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen's. One thing that stuck out to me, I did a deep dive for the whole division. One thing to keep an eye on, not only us, but every team in the division is backloaded with division games.
Yes.
So we play
point.
one division game for the first 8-9 weeks. Same with, I think the Falcons are the only team that plays 2 division games within the first 8 weeks. Us, the Saints, and the Bucks, super backloaded in the back, and even Atlanta. I think 4 of their last 6 or 7 games are division games, and then with us, very backloaded. As we can see right there, and bye week last 8 games that are division games. So something to definitely keep. I think the first 3 games are very much winnable. New England's one of my teams who I think, along with us, are going to be the 2 surprise teams in each conference. I think the Patriots will be the surprise team in the AFC, and I genuinely think we're going to be the surprise team in the NFC.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting game. Miami, Dallas at home. I'm looking at that like if we could win both, that's cool. If we split, I'll take that because I very strongly think we could win the first 3 games.
Yeah,
I do too. I do too. I think our the first 4 or 5 games are favorable, and I love what you said too about the end of the division or the end of the schedule being backloaded with division games. Like, man, I said this multiple times now. If we're in contention for that division, that bye week is going to be a godsend before we play New Orleans and Tampa Bay twice. I couldn't agree more. I think that there's a lot of teams that are very kind of overvalued this year and a lot of teams that are sort of underrated, sort of flying under the radar. I'm going to be real. I don't trust the Miami Dolphins this year. They've had to revamp so much of their football team. I don't know how anyone can really be trusting in them going forward. And I thought they were trying to move on from Tyreek Hill too.
Yeah, I think that the issue with Tyreek is nobody wants to pay that contract and give Miami what they want. It's just they're not going to do that. It's just like same with the defensive end for the Bengals. The Bengals want multiple first-round picks, but yet they're telling him he ain't worth that kind of money. So the Bengals and the Dolphins are talking out their ass. To be honest with you, I think the Miami Dolphins will have a coaching change mid-season this year. I think they're going to fire their coach, and I think they're going to go for a complete rebuild. I really do. I believe that. I believe a lot of that. I believe we're going to win the division, and I do not believe the Miami Dolphins are going to have a really good year at all this year.
Yeah, I really hope that we're going to really turn up in this division. Who do y'all think is the toughest opponent on the schedule? Probably Buffalo, right? Buffalo or the Rams.
Maybe even Niners in that conversation. Packers are good too. Packers had 13 wins last year. I mean, that's a good club.
I think the top 3 teams to be most concerned for are Buffalo, Rams, and Packers for sure. Those are the 3 big games, I feel like.
Yeah, Buffalo, Rams, Packers. I agree with the 49ers to an extent too.
But it depends on how the 49ers are by week 12. If they're still ranking injuries and there's no guarantee they won't, then I mean, I know they just paid their quarterback, but he's still just a game manager to me, and he will always be that.
Yeah. Hey, man, let me welcome in Locks, man, back to the free-for-all. Locks, man, what's up, brother? How you living, man? You're muted, bro. Locks, man's always on like a 5-minute delay.
It is.
Locks, man, what's up? All right, we'll come back to Brother
When you
Locks.
get a chance, pull up that little piece, Cody.
Oh, that you just sent? Or
Yeah.
that did sent?
No, it's in the
Oh,
little.
oh,
Yeah.
oh. Hold on.
And I was going to ask you guys what you thought
Right.
about this. You know, we've run into trouble in the past where, like the Cowboys game, all the Cowboys fans show up and take over our stadium, or the Bills game where we're at home and all the Bills fans show up and they take over the stadium. Do we see a scenario where the Carolina Panthers could start off 5-0 and we turn that around and the fans really show up and support the team at the bank and don't let that happen? I mean, is that a possibility?
love
I feel like
Well,
that's the only way.
well,
I feel like
we
that's the only
can.
way, bro. Unfortunately,
I believe we can do that, but the question is, do Panther fans have the guts to do that? I don't know that the Panther fans have the guts to show up and beat out the Cowboy
I
fans.
disagree, Pickle. I think that if we start on fire and if Bryce starts really going crazy, I
Right.
think that the spark, because remember, we've been bad for so long. We're
Right.
so ready for good football. Bro, if we got off to a hot start, that might literally be the thing that Panther Nation needs to get back out there in full force, ready to kick ass and reclaim our own dirt. That's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
Hey, I really hope it works. This article right here is all right. This guy used to work on NFL
Yeah,
Network.
Ari Muro.
Yeah, he says significant NFL owners will vote next week on a proposal
Yeah, we
to
gotta talk
change
about this.
the playoff seeding, where teams would seed strictly by regular season record rather than awarding top four seeds. Now, I think you still get you still get called a division winner, but you don't get your home field advantage. And
So
what
they're
do you
saying
have division?
that it only goes to the team with the best record.
Right,
So, for example, if you're a wild card
right.
at 11-5 and your division winner won 12 or 13 games, but then another conference winner won 7 games or 8 or 9 or whatever, that the wild card team would be a higher ranked seed
Yeah,
than the division winner.
yeah. For example, if you take the standings from
so
last
like
year,
Minnesota, so like Minnesota would have been like the 2 seed in a sense.
Yeah.
Basically.
right? Because Minnesota had a better record. Minnesota was 14-3, and the Eagles were 14-3, but Minnesota still had to go in as a wild card. Well, in that scenario, for example, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who won the NFC South as a division, will not have a home playoff game. They would go to, I'm assuming, Minnesota.
I don't know, man. How much support? Support is
Just
there?
like the Rams, who won their division, would not have a home field.
Yeah, but how much
not
support is there for this type of amendment? Because I'm sorry, but to me,
Well, it made it to the second
I
meeting.
don't know about y'all. I say bullshit to all of this. I think there is supposed to be a reason that you win your division. You win your division to have a home field playoff game. I think that if you fail to win your division, I don't care what your record is. I don't think that you should get a home playoff game.
I agree.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
agree.
Especially with the NFC South and how weak we've been the last, I don't know how many years. Not being the strongest division. Probably one of the weakest divisions in football for several seasons now. I don't want this rule change to go in whatsoever. So I'm hoping they vote it down, because honestly, that's the quickest path to a Panthers playoff game, home game for most of us. Is that happening right there? And I don't care about the Vikings. I don't care about their problems. I don't care about their division. If they have to go on the road and lose and choke because they had Sam Darnold at quarterback, well, that's their problem. We had that problem before too.
Right.
So I don't want to see the rule change whatsoever, Pickle.
Hey, man, let me welcome in Locks Man one more time. Locks Man, what up? Yo, Locks is in the nether realm or something. I don't know what's going on. All right, we'll come back to Locks. Next up, We got my man from the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. It's Twan Don. Twan, what's up, brother?
Peace, man? What's going on with y'all, man?
Chilling, man. How are you living, bro?
I'm good. No complaints.
Good to hear, man. Glad to hear that, brother. Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's healthy.
Hope you are as well.
Yeah,
hello to everyone.
Yeah, man. What? Tell me your thoughts about the schedule, Twan. For the most part, sentiment seems to be pretty good around fan discussion over the schedule. It seems like it starts fairly easy, and then week 15 through 18 with 3 out of the 4 division games. That's an opportunity to prove ourselves right at the very end. Twan, how are you feeling about it, man?
I think the schedule is very favorable. When we did when we talked about the schedule at 704 Charlotte Bound Show, look, man, it's a good opportunity for Carolina to get off to a quick start. If we come into training camp and do what we got to do and do what we're supposed to do, and the guys are very serious and they work hard and everybody. I feel like it's a new day with Carolina, and hopefully there's a new culture. And if the culture is different, then we can get off to a pretty fast start. And if you win early, man, that can build your confidence up for winning later games. You know what I'm saying? Because you can see that, well, I can do it. I think it's important for us to win early because the schedule allows us to win early than to try to win late when the schedule starts to get tougher. So, it's a great opportunity for us to jump ahead and build that confidence up between teammates, man. It's right there for the taking. It's right there.
No, it's a perfect opportunity, man. And, Tony, I'll continue to say it until I'm blue in the face. The last 2 times the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl, we opened up the season playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Hey, man, let me welcome in David Fazuk. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. David, what's up, man? Hey, you're muted, brother. You're on mute.
Hey, first time on the free-for-all.
Happy to have you, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Excited to see that we're going to kick some butt in these games.
You're right.
Yes, sir.
You're right.
David, what do you make of the Panthers' schedule, man? Do you think it looks favorable? Where do you think the tough parts of the schedule are? How are you feeling about it?
17-0, baby.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Right
No, I'm kidding. I think we could hit 9, 10 wins.
Yeah, okay. 9, 10 wins. Do you think that's enough to win the division, or are we talking wild card?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the three-team race: Atlanta, Tampa, and Carolina.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's possible that 2 of those might make it into the one as a wild card. So.
No, that's a great point. This year we're gonna need a lot from our star players, and if y'all notice the schedule release. There wasn't a lot of Bryce Young. And I'm not saying that was on purpose, but I'm saying there was a lot of emphasis on other players on this team. And I'm going to be real. I like that. I want Bryce to feel a little bit slept on going into 2025 because I want him to prove every single naysayer, including myself and others who have been a bit skeptical of Bryce, I want this year to prove us wrong. I'm going to go around one by one. I want from all of you, tell me what you are expecting from Bryce Young in year 3. Now that we have added so much talent around him on offense, what should we be expecting from Bryce Young? And I'm going to play some 20-yard plus air throw clips from Bryce in 2024. Go ahead. You want to go first?
I think we should expect exactly what we saw in Kansas City and exactly what we saw against the Eagles. I want to see Superman Bryce. I want to see elite Bryce. I want to see the guy that's going to run out, make passes, dump passes, use his legs, use his arms if he has to. I want to see accurate passes. I don't want to see hesitation. I don't want. If he gets hit, he gets up real quick and keeps on running. Now, sometimes a bad pass is going to happen. I'm not ready to overreact. He has one pass. I'm not that guy that's going to overreact to that. But I think Bryce has to step up to the podium and be great. Again, and I've said it before on Spaces. I believe I've said it here. If not, I'll say it now. This year, it's no excuse year. It's no excuse for Evero. It's no excuse for Bryce Young. It's no excuse
Can
for
you hear me now? Yes or no? Can you hear me now? Yes or no?
Yeah, I can hear you good, brother.
Locks out in the nether realm, bro. What's up, Locks? Locks, what's up, man?
I was talking, but I guess can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
we
hear me?
can hear you now.
Yes or no?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now,
Can
bro.
you hear us?
Can you hear us? Locks, man, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I can hear.
All right, man.
That man that just made that pass, he's got to, on the schedule release, they really focus him a little bit. You know what? That's nice. That's pretty. Whoopie-doo. I want to see him out on that field catching them fucking balls. I don't give a damn how many horses he's got. I don't care if he hunts squirrel, chickens, raccoons, rabbits, possums, or frogs, or whatever the hell he does. I don't really care. I want to see him. Listen, I would care a lot more about his personal life if he had made his professional life look as good as everybody's making him look on TV and radio and all that. That's what I have.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Diesel, talk to me, brother. What are we feeling about Bryce in 2024? I mean, am I wild to say that after all the upgrades that we have made, that I'm expecting to see superstar potential? Like, I know we sort of gave him the point guard moniker, but I want to see some superstardom this year.
I mean, I think we all do. I'm kind of hoping that this defense doesn't put him in that situation. I'm kind of hoping that this running game and this offense and the power of this offensive line doesn't put him in that situation, because a lot of times last year we saw him where he had to make the game-winning drive. He was doing everything he could to orchestrate some type of comeback. Dave Canales getting away from running the ball, getting towards throwing, trying to get caught back up because we were down by 14 or more points. I hope that's not the case, and we don't have to lay it all on the back of Bryce Young. I'm hoping that we're a little more dominant than that. I hope we're dominant up front the run game, and I hope we're dominant in our front seven, as many that we've added through free agency and the draft as well, and the capital that we spent there. But last year, Bryce Young, 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 82.2 rating. And what kind of got him there was better decision-making and quick decision-making. Those are the two things that changed, that kind of turned his season around, especially the quick decision-making. We saw the first 2 games of the year that got him benched, holding on to the ball too long, trying to make things happen that weren't there. Those are the things I don't want to see. I want to see him just 2.7 seconds, like Dave Canales used to preach, and then getting that football out to the right person, the person that's open within this offense. And with the upgraded wide receiver room, I think there will be more people open. I think there'll be more of an opportunity to get the ball to the correct person. I do think we'll see more touchdowns. I think hopefully we can keep that interception number below 10, just like we did last year. And as far as yards, man, that's tough. I hope that we've got like 2,000 yards rusher, or 2 guys that are close to 1,000 yards in Chuba Hubbard and Rico. I'd like to see that, where we're more of a dominant run team and we can get teams down and then just bully them in the second half and put the ball on the ground and put the game away, and trust in our defense to make stops and trust in our special teams to make plays. Things that we've struggled with in the past, especially the last couple seasons, where it's been stagnant on special teams, and then we haven't seen much contributions from the defense, especially in the way of turnovers. So for me, I understand that you've got high expectations of Bryce Young and a lot of things that you want to see. But I just want to see good, solid quarterbacking from Bryce Young. Don't turn the football over. We're not fumbling the ball. We're not throwing interceptions. Just basic quarterback play, getting the ball downfield, pushing off a play action for big throws, jump balls to Tet, to T-Mac, and jump balls to Xavier. Good throws to Coker. You got to remember, it was Coker that was 3 straight receptions in the end of that Falcons game that brought us to that victory that led us down the field. So, yeah, solid play from Bryce Young is more of my expectation. I think the star throws, the star power will be there in time, but let's just play some good, solid offense and some good, solid football moving forward, Cody.
Yes, sir, man. Let me welcome into the podcast JD, back from the beautiful isles of Hawaii. JD, what's up, brother? How you living, man?
Yo, what's good, man? I've been good. How y'all doing?
Doing good, brother. How you feeling, man?
Shit, man. About this season, I'm trying to temper my expectations, but like the more the just different areas of the team, you look at it and it's like, how can you not get excited? Especially coming from where we came from, seeing how Morgan's put the team together. Like, this is a very well put together team. And we saw Canales and we saw Evero last year be able to keep those guys galvanized and competing, even though the talent wasn't there. Well, now defensively, the talent's there. Specifically on the D line, offensively, they running it back. I heard you ask earlier the question about what your expectations are for Bryce this upcoming season. And me personally, even with my expectations being tempered, the way Bryce closed out the season last year, that game against the Falcons, I don't see that as a fluke. You asked me what I expect to see out of him this year. I expect to see an MVP. I expect Bryce to be in the MVP conversation late in the season. Start out just game manager, not doing anything too special, nothing crazy. But we saw when he started to heat up, we saw last year as the team started to come together after that bye week. Canales has an entire offseason to get his offense right now. And we saw after a bye week what that offense became.
Yeah.
Once the offense starts to click this year, we're going to see what Bryce was able to do against the Falcons. You're going to see that week to week to week. So that MVP, I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, but he should very much be in the conversation late in the season.
Man, that would be beautiful. If we could have back-to-back MVP seasons decades apart, 2015 and 2025, that would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool, man. There's a lot of cool opportunities for the Panthers to be good. Hey, while I'm remembering, I wanted to get everyone in on this playoff seeding that's being proposed. Do we all unanimously hate this? Like, they're going to give the highest, the team with the best record, better playoff seeding? Twan, how do you feel about that? Let me pull it back up.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I think the NFL needs to do a lottery, just like they did in the NBA.
Oh, my Lord.
It will be something fantastic for everybody to watch.
You mean the draft?
No, absolutely not, my
friend. Wait, hold on, Twan. You mean the draft?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the way that people are lined up in terms of how we draft. I think that the NFL needs to do a lottery, man.
I massively disagree.
I don't. The teams trying to lose games should not be rewarded.
How big of a problem? How big of a problem is it? Teams tanking. Like, how many teams are actively?
I don't think
like,
a lot of teams are
actively tanking.
I really don't.
And also, Twan, you're a Knicks fan, bro. I don't know what the draft does to the Knicks, but I'm not even a basketball fan. And that draft be kicking the Hornets' ass, bro.
Yeah,
the
Hornets. All that draft for the NBA did was show how corrupt the NBA is.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That's the lottery. That's the lottery.
No, it's corrupt. It's not. No, it's not. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain why I don't think it's going to work. Number one, in the NBA and a lot of other places, you're having
how it is going to work.
Yeah. Let Twan finish it, then I'm gonna let you respond.
Yeah,
because this is a big conversation that everyone's been having.
I'm already on this.
Yeah, we are. I just don't understand it. Go ahead, Twan.
I think the NFL should absolutely have a lottery to discourage teams from tanking. When you know that you may not be rewarded for tanking games at the end of the year, then you have to play, man. You have to play your people. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. I mean, a lot of with the whole thing when people were telling us, we should tank out whatever for a higher draft pick or whatever. I don't think teams that are tanking or teams that necessarily have bad seasons should be rewarded with that from year to year. I think you take the lowest teams, you know what I'm saying, and go into a lottery like that situation, but it should not be automatically guaranteed that the team with the worst record gets the first pick in next year's draft, because we've seen that every single year in the NFL, man. I'm tired of look, Carolina, we don't even benefit from that.
But I'm saying that to me, what you just described is the reason why there's turnaround in the NFL. Why a team like the Houston Texans can't go from number 2 to being a playoff contender. Like, the fact of the matter is, when you're the worst team in the NFL and then you're going to have a playoff team picking before them, it's like you're always battling an uphill battle, man.
So let me explain the situation.
My last thing. There are teams, and I don't even watch the NBA, but I know that there are teams that are irrelevant every year because they're not even getting anywhere close to picking the best players every year.
Well, see, I don't think tanking is always the thing that teams do at the end of the year. I think it's things that teams do from year to year. They know coming in a season, they look at their people and they go, oh, well, we're going to try to do this, and then try to make moves the year after that. Well, that's cheating, man. I think it makes every team have to play their best and put your best guys out there and try to make the right moves that you're supposed to make. I mean, the NFL is corrupt. We can't say the NBA ain't corrupt if we don't say the NFL ain't corrupt. It is something.
To me, it's just a matter of fairness. Like having the work, like just because
the Charlotte Hornets only had.
I know it was going to be an unpopular opinion, but that's just I'm not telling anybody you guys are wrong. I'm just saying that's what
I mean.
It was what happened.
Let me let Pickle them introduce.
You got to have it, man.
Yeah, I personally don't think there's a lot of tanking as far as beginning of the season tanking. I believe a lot of it is just stupid people in charge, owners sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, and people not wanting to invest in the good scouts, not hearing what scouts are saying, not looking at things. I think teams are looking at Mel Kiper or whoever, Todd McShay, whoever, and saying, well, they say this, and this is what I'm going to draft. Furthermore, if you want to end the advantage, because what you're talking about is drafting. Just because you draft high in the draft doesn't mean you're drafting a quality player. You're just drafting the guy who gets hyped more. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're not necessarily drafting the best player. You're just drafting the idiot in the corner who gets more attention. If you want to correct that, let's go backward. Okay, let's go backward. Let's eliminate the rookie wage scale. Okay, let's eliminate that. And let's go back to where the first overall pick got exactly what the highest paid quarterback in the NFL got. That way teams don't want that, because this NFL's been down that road before. And then you saw a number 1 pick go, and less than 2 years into it, everybody realized he's pathetic, shit-ass garbage. But the team stuck with him because they're paying him all this fucking money and they can't get rid of him. For example, go back and look what Cam Newton.
I think the lottery is going to kill all of that, though. I think it's going. You making my point for me?
No. My point. Okay. Here's the point. People that want the lottery have this opinion that these good teams are going to get best players. Well, people fail to understand how the lottery works. For example, if they took the lottery in the NFL, they wouldn't take all 32 teams and put them in a hat, draw it out. they would take the top 5 or the top 6 or the top 10 teams from bad to worst.
Yeah, like the bottom of the barrel
Like,
teams,
for
and then put
example,
them
they
in
would take the
roulette
first,
type
for
deal.
example, this past year, they would take everybody from pick 1 to pick 10 and put them in a hat, and everybody would draw out there. And
All right,
then
let me
after that,
hold on.
they
Let
would
me
have
get some.
regular.
Let me get some more people.
I still think it's a listen. I still think if the NFL adapted the lottery, I think the NFL would destroy itself.
Well, my
There's
thing
a
is,
lot of teams. There was a
well,
lot
let
of
me
players. Yeah.
let me say this, and then I'm gonna pass the
The
mic.
NBA is destroying
To
itself.
me, and then I'm gonna pass the mic. To me, the fairness, like part of the reason why the NFL is so good, is because you know that you can be a trash team one year, and the very next year rebound and turn it around. I don't even think that's possible in the NBA. I don't know. Let's get some more opinions. Right? Let me welcome in Jake the Snake back on the free for all, and then we'll go to JD. Jake, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. I hope everybody's having a blessed Friday. Real quick on this subject, though. The Charlotte Hornets has only had the first overall pick one time, and it was a 91. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Play ball.
But that's easy to say if you have a. But if you have a bad, if you don't, if you don't have all the money to spend, like some of the other best teams, and you don't draft well, then it's like sometimes you gotta throw a dog a bone, man.
No, man.
Just eliminate the draft. Eliminate the draft
I'm not going to bail you out. Just because you don't know how to draft, don't mean your team should be bailed out. That's your stupidity. I'm talking about including the Panthers. The Panthers shouldn't be bailed out because we make bad decisions.
Drafting high in the draft is not being bailed out.
But you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the teams. You're doing it for the fans. If you have entire fan bases that get checked out and don't even want to, they're not even interested because their team is never relevant.
Man, none of these corporations care about fans. I mean, we gotta start realizing
that's where the money comes from.
The NFL, Justin K in the chat says the NFL had a better job turning around from loser to playoffs than the NBA. Bad teams in the NBA stay bad for 5 to 10 years. The NFL can have a team turn around in 2 to 3. He says 3, but I say 2 to 3 years. This is very true. Very true.
The NFL has a larger roster.
And they have a better turnaround. One more thing I'm going to say about this, and I said it on Twitter, and everybody I chat with on Twitter about it won't talk about it after this. The NFL is king, folks.
No one does it better.
The NBA, it kicks the NHL, it kicks professional wrestling, it kicks entertainment, period's ass every time it gets on TV. And there's nobody everywhere, anywhere that can stop it. Now,
my thing is the draft is just not.
I ain't done yet. Now, here's my point. The NFL is not broke in that respect. The NFL dominated the ratings for 3 days a year.
It's still
on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And there is nothing that any other place could do to challenge it on draft days. And it just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the NFL ain't broke.
The NFL,
let me get some.
The NFL is definitely broke.
Hold on, boys. I gotta get some more people. Hold on. I gotta get some more people in. Hold on. I gotta get some more people in.
Broke, bro. Go ahead.
JD's been waiting to go. Go ahead, JD.
Oh, yeah, man. I my 2 cents on it. I might be looking at it from the wrong view. But the greater issue here is in the NFL as opposed to the NBA. The NFL owners, and we saw this, we've lived through it. When Tepper was meddling, the Panthers couldn't get right. Tepper puts Morgan in place. He steps out of the way. Morgan hires Canales. Those 2 guys have been running the team the way that a smart organization should be ran. Credit to Tepper because he recognized that he shouldn't be doing anything football related outside of hiring the right people. So if the owner gets his shit together, then that team, that draft pick, it won't matter where they're drafting. because if you have an organization built up for success, they can be picking 32 year in and year out, and they take the guy that they need in order to remain picking at that spot.
Exactly.
So as a fan, the only control that you really have over it, if you're disappointed or you don't like the system or how it's being used, as a fan of whatever team that you feel is constantly garbage, I don't believe that the Panthers are going to be that this year, so we really ain't got to worry about it. But to any NFL fan that might feel that way towards the organization, stop giving them your money. Stop giving them your time. That's the only way that you're really going to be able to affect the owner,
right?
And have him see that, okay, these people are serious. I need to do something different. And it might be, I got to sell the team type stuff. That's when shit gets real. The NFL is ultimately about making their money. So if the system's fucked up to a degree to where they're not getting what they could be getting because the owner's being stupid, they'll get them up out the paint. I don't think adding a lottery system to the NFL draft process would do anything but add more chaos. Because then you go from maybe 3-4 teams trying to get that number 1, 2, 3 spot to possibly 15 teams trying to just get into the top 10 so that they can have their shit drawn to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, it can have a
it doesn't
reverse
change
effect.
anything.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. It can actually have a reverse effect of teams just wanting to get into the mix for a number 1 pick.
I want to say something real quick.
David has to leave. He's getting ready to leave. So I'm going to let David get off, and then I'll let you go, Twan. Go ahead, David.
So I want to say something about the draft. So NBA, they have like 5 players that are starting usually, but the NFL is, 22 or whatever, 23.
Yeah.
So you have a lot more players to play than an NBA, so it's not going to do that much of a difference. In the NBA, you get 1 player, it can change the franchise. I think that's the difference between the draft. Another thing, you asked the question about Bryce. What my expectations for him to be top 15 quarterback, and I'm really excited of him frying some birds. I'm over here in the grill.
Yes, sir. Hey, fry them birds, bro.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say, I'm about to go eat some dinner, but
yeah, man.
This is a free-for-all, so we make movies, and we have a movie that's free on YouTube. And if you're interested in watching a free documentary about Flat Earth, look up Origins Untold, Ancient Cosmology.
Origins, type it in the chat if you can. And
I'm all in on that.
We'll send everybody.
Yeah, it's won a lot of awards. It's like already 11,000 views.
Is it free?
Yeah, it's free.
Okay.
It's free on YouTube.
Say it one more time.
It's Origins Untold, Ancient Cosmology.
Origins Untold, Ancient Cosmology. All right, if you're interested in learning about the flat Earth, there you go, man.
Oh, you flat earthers out there.
David, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. Even if you don't like Flat Earth, it's something you can look into. Like, that's interesting. But I'll listen on, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Have a great night, and keep pounding, brother. Enjoy your day.
Keep pounding. 17-0.
17-0. Let's go. Hey, man, let me welcome Landon into the free-for-all. Landon, how are you, bro?
Doing good, sir.
Doing good. How are you, man? How you feel about this Panthers schedule, draft lottery, anything that we've been talking about that you would like to speak on, man? It's your platform to do so.
Been great. I say everything's been great with this team. Defense has been good. We got our defense together. I mean, the only thing I'm kind of concerned with is our secondary, of course, because we always had a bad secondary back then with 15 and 16. But
True.
we can get that together. I think we'll be really good. I mean, I like J.C. Horn and everything, but once the secondary, I don't really know, and I don't really trust it yet. I gotta look at the preseason and see how they do.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting preseason for sure. And we'll sort of continue to rotate around to all these different topics that we're talking on. But Twan, I'll go back to you. There was something you were wanting to say, wanting to touch in on.
No, I don't want to go back in that direction. Yeah, I'm good on that.
Well, how about this, man?
Because we're not going to see it the same way.
Right, you're right.
I'm not trying to step on anybody's opinion, man. I mean, Pickle has every right to feel how he feels. and I don't want anybody to think I'm arguing with him because I knew it was going to be an unpopular subject when I said it. You know,
It makes for good
Yeah,
conversation.
Well, but no, I
anyway.
mean, I do see. But to play
I
to
mean,
play
I
devil's advocate a
Oh, yeah.
little bit. To play devil's
They sell
advocate,
their flowers.
I,
Who don't
I
like
do feel
flowers?
like
Warren.
this microphone.
I will say this one thing though. When I said that the NFL is already corrupt, it's because to me and Pickle talk about this all the time. Today's NFL is some bullshit. Like every year they want to change a rule, or they want to do this, or they want to make this easier, or they want to do this, or flip this, and then you want to change the kickoff and all that, and owners sit down and change all that shit. That shit is corny. That's what's fucking the game up.
And I can tell you, Twan, in my opinion, I'll just be honest. Y'all going to see old fashioned pickle day, all right? Now,
all right.
You just go to get your button ready because you might need to use it a little bit.
Oh,
The problem is with the NFL is greed. The NFL owners are all greed. The corporations greed. They want to put 3 teams in Europe. They want to put a couple teams in South America, and the players don't like it. Fuck you, get over it. That's exactly what the players go investigate. The players don't want to go to South America at all. They get locked in the hotel the entire time they're there.
Yep.
They're not allowed to even look out the damn window because there's bars under the windows. The NFL said, you don't like it? Get the fuck over it. Because the NFLPA
it's more money
don't give a
for
rat's
it.
ass. The NFLPA don't give a rat's ass about them players because the NFLPA has been bribed relentlessly.
Yep.
They're richer than the damn owner.
By corporate sponsors.
Like I said before,
They don't care about the
NFL is not a league. The NFL is controlled by a bunch of rich old white men, and they don't give a damn what anybody else thinks.
By corporate sponsors. Yeah.
Right.
Can I also?
And listen.
Let me respond here in a second, people.
Right. A lot of people
Look at all the
want to
streaming
know.
services and shit now.
A lot of people, the reason why the streaming service, because everybody's got it. Listen, I don't like everything on streaming service, but you know what? Everybody's got it now. And guess what? On XM Radio, the guy, one of the main guys, I don't remember his name. He's in the NFL league office. He said the reason why they allowed Netflix to take games is because they put 2 videos on Netflix a couple years ago. And they literally topped everybody's rank, including overseas. So they said, hey, all our fans are on Netflix. So we're going to let Netflix do a game. You don't like it? Stop watching the shows on Netflix.
Yeah, but also look at it from a marketing perspective, though. All these new international dollars that are going to be coming into the NFL through them going to Germany, through them going to South America, through them going to all different places. At the end of the day, the players may bitch about not wanting to do this and not wanting to do that. But all those new dollars that goes into the NFL is the reason why the salary cap jumps through the fucking roof every year.
It does nothing for the fans, Cody. It does nothing
you have players that are resetting the market every single year. So it's like they're always going to do what's good for the bottom line. Let me get JD on this, and then we'll get locks.
Hey, it's actually pretty good timing. I actually got to hop out. Man, I got to go get my kids up out of school, and me and my wife getting ready to go grab something to eat. So y'all keep pounding. I know y'all keep doing y'all thing on the Friday free for all, man. Keep the energy going. One love.
One love. Keep
I think you should read what Pickle just posted up there. That's a great point.
Yeah.
We can't run on saying the NFL this and the NFL cares. Pickle said, then why does the NFLPA allow the current NFL players to get fucked in the ass on a regular basis? It ain't about the players sometimes, and it's definitely not about the fans. It's about rich motherfuckers trying to get other rich motherfuckers richer.
Hey, man, let me shout out Forest City Kitty with the 499. Says the NFL is very corrupt when you got Walmart deciding what happens in the NFL and the game of football. You know it's effed up.
It's been
y'all. Shout out to Forest City Kitty.
Yeah. I want to add something. I want to add something real quick.
Go ahead, Landon.
So, You know how Pickle was saying about the NFL, how it's how they pay and all that good stuff. Well, you know they could get the referees. The referees that like to screw up stuff, like the Lions game and Cowboy game thing, when that happened with the eligible. They could get the referees glasses and hearing aids so they can hear every call and see every call.
No, they need to find them. They need
They
the
need
NFL
to,
to
they need to not
referees,
employ.
bro.
They need to not employ the school for the blind as referees, and
Yeah.
maybe they'll
For,
be able to referee something.
for all the money the NFL and the NFLPA has, I question why do they not have the intestinal fortitude to hire full-time officials? Why?
Yeah, that's
They
right.
would rather have lawyers and doctors and athletic specialists who are retired to be referees.
Yes, sir.
These old dudes.
So they can control them. The NFL
Exactly.
referees are controlled by the NFL league office, and they do what they're told.
And they're getting older and older every year, bro. What? Tell me.
And let me welcome in two more people. We got Surfside Steve back on the free for all. Steve, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
Doing fine. No lottery, please. We like to let the teams work at it because, like you said, if there are 10 teams in a lottery, they're gonna have 10 teams tanking.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good
Go
kind of point.
Let me say one more thing. One
go
more
ahead.
thing, Cody. One more thing. The Panthers video thing with the three guys and everything giving out parking tickets and everything.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would have been a lot funnier if Tepper was given a ticket in his car. That would have really been hysterical.
Yeah, it would feed into the narrative that he'll do anything for a quick buck. So maybe it would have been, but J.C. Horn being the corner, giving out the seatbelt, I get that too. Hey man, let me welcome from the Black Cat Panther Podcast. We got Pop and Bullets back in the building. What's up, Pop?
Baby.
What up? What up, bro?
Ain't that much, man. Chilling, man.
Yes, sir. Let me get Pop and Steve's opinion on the schedule, and then we will. I want to ask a different question for the entire panel. We'll start with Steve. What did you make of the Panthers' schedule, man? How did you think about it? Is it favorable? What do you like? What do you dislike? Go ahead.
Okay, overall, I like it. It's a pretty favorable schedule. A couple of odds and ends. Like I wish the bye week was like maybe 2 weeks earlier, especially after the Monday night game. Could have been a good time to have the bye after that. I do like the first game though, Jacksonville, because we should beat them. But even if we do lose to them, it's a team that has very little influence on our standings because they're in the AFC, and so we can afford that. But one more thing though is that game number 3, Atlanta, is going to be a first big important game in my opinion because a rivalry. And if we can go 2-0 or 1-1 or 0-2, that game is going to be even more vital. So, and then the middle part's going to be hard, but we'll finish strong. And I would have switched one Falcon game with the Tampa Bay game just to, move things more evenly and stuff. But they like us playing Tampa at the end, I guess.
Yeah, bro. To me, it's a dream if you're trying to win the division in late November, early December. Pop, what say you, man? How do you think about the schedule, bro?
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to nitpick and complain, I would say I don't necessarily like a lot of the on the road games, but I'm cool with how it turned out. I mean, one of my wishes came true. I wanted to play Atlanta early, so that's cool. I don't think Jacksonville is a threat at all. And then I wanted to throw something out there. If y'all haven't noticed how they set up a lot of the team schedules, they did it for a reason. And the main reason is this keeps teams from tanking. Think about how they're set up.
It keeps the NFC South. It keeps the NFC South from taking.
No.
Go on that, Pop. Go on that, Pop.
It's not just the AFC South. Go look at a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Because the teams that's already made and is in a good position that keep going to the playoffs, you're not really worried about them. But the ones on the rise that could potentially jump up, they're making sure, hey, You're not going to be able to just to tank and just sit your starters. No, you're going to have to play it all the way out.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what they're doing, man. That's what they sort of have been trying to do the past few years. Like put the divisional football at the very end so that way you're fighting for your division. That's what I was trying to say earlier, man. Like, that's why I disagree with the new playoff seeding that they're trying to shove down people's throats of making it where you can even win your division and still not get a home playoff game if a wild card team has a better record. Like, I think that's some bullshit. If you win your division, you should have a home playoff game. But overall, I'm thinking that, man, this schedule and how the NFL has been building out our schedules, they want the final weeks of the season to be must-see TV, where playoff spots are literally on the line.
Literally on the line. Because if they're going to the way that a lot of us are thinking the Carolina Panthers potentially could be, those last 4 games are the most trial games that you're going to have. Like, they really kind of can predict how you either going to be sitting on the couch or you're going to the playoffs or getting a wild card.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just pay attention, guys.
Yeah, we do pretty good with the up to the Rams game, and then we have that bye week. We'll be nice and fresh and strong for the big finale. So maybe having a late bye is not the worst thing after all. I just wish it's a little bit earlier still.
I do
that's
too.
what I'm saying. I love the late bye.
But at the same time, I look at the schedule and I say, you know what? We got a lot of young folks on this roster, and they need to tough up. They need to become tough. And if you got a schedule like that and you can overcome that schedule, oh, yeah, then you can overcome a lot, even in the future. Because a weak schedule, to me, weak schedules build weak teams. That's just how it works. Tough schedules build tough teams. The Steelers had a schedule almost exactly like this last year. Mike Tomlin said, we're not complaining. And he was adamant right about it. Some of the fans complained. Media complained. Mike Tomlin says, we're not complaining. I agree with Mike Tomlin. The schedule is what the schedule is. And if you want to play in the NFL, you got to put your big boy jockstrap on, go out there and play football.
Yes, sir. Y'all remember in 2015, part of the reason why they slandered our team so much was because they said that we had an easy schedule.
We had an easy schedule. Yep, they sure did.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead, Pop.
3 things. Shout out to Leggett for letting us hear his real voice and being in Tepper's house.
Yeah.
Number 2, did any of y'all catch Canales' interview? If you did any of y'all have a problem with him saying that he didn't know what the team was right now? And
No.
I did. I
It's
kind of had a problem with that. But he should know what the team should be right now. Like, to me, that means like culture. That's what I mean when I felt like he didn't know what the culture is. When he said, well, I don't know what the team is right now. And I was like, oh, that's not a good take, my boy.
Well, but my thing is this. I'm not mad yet. That answer would piss me off if we're in the middle of September, October. Yeah, for sure. But right now, not going through any of the training camp, not knowing your health, I do think that, just to be fair to the man, I do think that it is sort of impossible to know who you are right now. Like, he might have an idea of what he wants the identity of the team to be, but that might not be the actual identity by the time it's time to put the ball on the gridiron. They might want to be a really good run-first football team, but if they're torching teams through the air with XL and Nalo, then they might decide differently. So, no, I don't hold that too much against him right now. Like I said, get back to me in October, and if he's still saying the same shit, then yeah, I got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it like if he would have said we're a tough, hard-nosed running football team, and the team come out looking like they did last year, then it makes him to be a liar. So, a lot of it is up to the players and what the players should be. It's all cool right now. But when the pads go on and the hitting starts and the real football starts, then, but also in that same press conference you're talking about, Pop, he said they're currently talking to the Steelers and the Texans about doing another joint practice. That tells me that I wonder if he wasn't happy with some of the stuff he saw at rookie camp, or does he think we need a little bit more physical players, physicality going in?
I think joint practices is
joint
more.
practices. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's better for the players anyways, even over preseason games. Joint practice is so valuable for these guys that I love. Hopefully they get the other joint practice because I think it would be beneficial to the whole team.
Yeah, they are. So Canales said they're doing joint practices with the Browns. And I believe he said they would like to do joint practices with the Texans as well. Now, that's not on the schedule right now, but I believe, unless I'm wrong, I believe he did say that they want.
Well, he said that they were in talk, that they had conversations with the Texans and the Steelers about doing joint practices with one of them. So the Rams last year, the Rams did a joint practice in every single preseason game.
That's what I want to do joint practice with. I want to do joint practice with either the Chargers or the Rams. Those would be my two picks.
Right.
Yeah. Although I do like the idea of Icky having to go up against Myles Garrett in practice and training camp because iron sharpens iron. So I'm into that. But boys, this is my question that I have for the entire panel. We've all been very glowing about this year's rookie class. But I'm going to ask each and every one of you a very simple question. How many rookies from the Panthers 2025 draft class are actually going to be impact players in 2025? Because I feel like some of us maybe have some inflated numbers as to how many of these guys are really going to be, lending legitimate plays to the Panthers this year. So I want to know how y'all feel. I'm going to start with Diesel Skills. Brother Dees, how many of these players from top to bottom are going to be meaningful contributors in year one for the Panthers?
Well, meaningful for us is kind of like different versus meaningful towards the NFL itself. So I would say 4 would be meaningful to the Panthers. Of course, our number 8 overall pick, I expect something from Lathan Ransom in that secondary. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know if he starts. I don't know if he starts at big nickel. I don't know if he's just going to rotate in, but I do expect him to see playing time. Mitchell Evans also, I expect him to see playing time, even if it's just in the goal line package. That is having an impact on the team for sure. And, of course, both of our edge rushers. I think both of our edge rushers will make an impact on this team, and that impact could be their success or their failure. And hopefully –
everything good, Moore?
It'll be their success getting to the quarterback and their success as well setting the edge and stopping the run. So I expect 4 players that were drafted to come in immediately and make an impact on this team. I would go ahead and take the kicker, too. Let's go 5, the UDFA. I know he wasn't drafted, but I'll take him, Fitzgerald, as well.
No, to me, that's a reasonable number. 4 is it's a good number. I think anything more, but it also depends on what players you're talking about, too. How many injuries happen in front of that player at those positions?
Are you including special teams? As meaningful?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I would say 6. And I'll explain it.
All right, tell me those players.
Tetrone McMillan will be a starter.
Right,
Nick Scorton and Princely, I believe, are going to be heavy rotational players. Lathan Ransom may start on defense.
Okay.
Mitchell Evans and Mitchell Evans and Jimmy Horn will be key special teamers because Mitchell Evans will be our 3rd tight end on the roster. Jimmy Horn will likely be our starting return. Now that's assuming that Trevor Etienne isn't our number 2 returner, because when you do kickoffs, you have to have 2 returners.
So right there, that's 8 people that we're saying are going to, play meaningful snaps for the Panthers in 2025. That's a big number.
That's a big number.
Hold on. Hey, whoever doesn't have any headphones, put headphones in and keep your microphone muted when you're not addressing us here on the free for all. Poppin, let me go to you, brother. How many players on this rookie class are going to be meaningful players?
I think everybody except for Big Cam Cornbread Jackson, and that's it. I think everybody. Trevor Ian might not get that much burn because they signed Chacina, who's special teams. So I expect him and Jimmy Horn to be our kick returners. So I don't see ATN, and I don't see Cam Cornbread Jackson, what I'm calling him.
Okay.
To really have a much role played for right now. Now, if injuries come in, then of course you slot them in. But yeah, I would say 6 out of the 8.
All right, 6 out.
And I'm saying, and Ransom is going to be a starter. He's going to be our free safety. I'm claiming it now.
A lot of people feel like Ransom is a day.
I agree with you, Pop. I've always said Ransom was going to be our free safety.
Let me go to Landon. Landon, how you feeling, brother?
Can you is there a way you can zoom in on the players a little bit, because I can't see no names?
No, it won't let me zoom in.
Okay, can you just read them out to me?
Yeah. So we have Tedoroa McMillan, Nick Scorton, Jimmy Horn Jr. This is not in order. Lathan Ransom, Trevor Etienne, Princely Human Meelan, Cam Jackson, Mitchell Evans. Did I get them all? Who am I missing? Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's about all of them. Who you picking?
Okay. I think Trevor is what I'm gonna go with. That's one of them I think is gonna be good. And then I guess I'll go if is there a cornerback in there?
No corners. We didn't draft.
it. Okay, so I'll go with that safety that what person was saying.
Lathan Ransom. Okay. Surfside Steve, what say you, brother? How many day one starters or just meaningful impact players are we going to have year one from this draft class?
Well, drafted 1, 2, and 3 are going to be really important to our team and very involved, especially since Clowney's no longer with the team. So I expect Nick and Princely to be on the field a lot. And, of course, number 4 over there is going to do his thing. I also like Junior at the end, Horn Jr., because between special teams and he seems to have the buzz. I can see him doing a lot of stuff. And everybody else will definitely be rotational. I mean, they're all going to be really involved this year. And I had a good thought about this. I was watching another show, and they were talking about the tight end room, and they're saying this and that and everything. I'm thinking that Tommy Tremble may want to be the number 3 tight end. And look who we used to have as number 3, our lovely guy who's gone. So it looks like the whole team has improved. The tight end room looks a lot better now. No more Ian. Goodbye, Ian. I love you, but goodbye.
Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, right?
Right?
Yeah. No, I hear it. Jake, what say you, man? How many day one impact players do we have on the team?
I think all these guys are going to get meaningful snaps at a certain point during this year. But by week 1, the 3 starters I got right now is I got Nala, I got Nick Scorton, and then I got Jimmy Horn as my 3 starters week 1 impactful guys.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see Jimmy Horn as the kick returner, man.
Bro, there is so much hype around Jimmy Horn. I do not remember the last time we drafted a player, in the 7th round? Or no, the 6th round, rather.
Yep.
That has so much fanfare behind him. Like, people already feel like he's going to be a difference maker in our offense and that he's a lot faster on the field than he was at his 40 time at his pro day.
All right, y'all. I gotta get off of here because I got to charge this phone real quick. So I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
let y'all.
Appreciate you, Landon.
I'm gonna do one thing real quick. This is my favorite thing to do when I was a Panther fan. So when we do it, and I'm gonna hop off here. Ready?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Appreciate you, Landon. Keep pounding, brother.
Appreciate
Man, shout out to Nearvosh with the $5 C3 bomb. Says, who do you think ends up our best pass rusher? So ESPN put out a list of top 10 rookie players to look for this season, and Nick Scorton was number 8. I feel like a lot of people in scouting felt like Nick Scorton was a really, really, really good football player, to the point that I'm surprised that he fell to us.
Remember,
who else?
Dan Morgan
Yeah,
said that he had a first round grade on him. He was surprised that he made it that far.
Yeah. No, that's yeah, man, it's interesting to think about who the best pass rusher could end up being. I think Princely is fast too. So I really think on third downs, he could be a very versatile pass rusher. But yeah, man. Is there anyone I didn't ask who they think could be a legit impact player? Or what rookies are going to be impact players day one? Or is there anything anyone would like to add?
I'd like to see Nick go against who's the guy that Atlanta gave up the first rounder for next year?
Oh, James Pierce.
I want to see how Pierce and Nick will play against each other for the whole season, because, like I said, I think they look equal. We don't know yet, of course, but they look comparable, and we don't have to give a first round guy. Hey, that's all the better.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, let me welcome Pete's Takes onto the Friday free-for-all. Pete, how are you, man?
Hey, thank you for allowing me up, my guy. Appreciate you. Long-time listener, first time coming up. But I just wanted to let you know, because I came up because of what you said about all the hype on Jimmy Horn. And I'm not a Panthers fan. I'm a Dolphin fan. We see you guys in week 5.
Nice.
But
Okay,
I do want
welcome.
to tell you that Jimmy Horn Jr., he's a football player. And to me, I think he's going to have one of the biggest impacts for the Carolina Panthers. This guy is he's just a smooth operator. He's small, 5'10", 170 pounds. But the way he plays receiver, he is going to get a lot of separation. And in my opinion, someone like Bryce Young will benefit more off of Jimmy Horn than actually Tat McMillan.
Okay. Bro, so let me ask you this. Being a Dolphins fan, do you think that maybe what Tyreek Hill did for Tua Tagovailoa, maybe Jimmy Horn can do something similar for Bryce?
I'm not going to put him in the Tyreek Hill realm, but we do have another guy that's called Jalen Waddle. And
Yes,
if you look
sir.
at what Jalen Waddle was able to do with Tua as a rookie, I could see Jimmy Horn putting in that role where he catches a lot of easy screens, catches near the line of scrimmage, drag routes, and he gets a lot of short to intermediate catches that are quick in that offense, where it gets to allow him to do stuff running after the catch. So I can see someone like Jimmy Horn having 70-plus catches for you guys, even as a rookie.
I love that too. And you know, a lot of the reason why certain fans weren't necessarily very high on Tet is because they didn't feel like he was that speedy, ultra route running separator that maybe Bryce needed. However, now that you have a Jimmy Horn that you drafted in the 6th round, even for the people who maybe thought Nalo was a little bit overdrafted, I feel like the addition of Jimmy Horn makes that even better for us, because now you have that big-bodied jump ball wide receiver that can pluck it out the air. He's going to come down with everything. And that guy who's going to be able to make magic between 10 to 20 yards in the middle of the field. That's, you know, an ultimate weapon for Bryce.
I can see what, you're spot on. They actually both do complement each other, especially when you guys get in the red zone. Tat McMillan's size, he's gonna take away double coverage. You need 2 guys on him. So that's
Yes,
going to
of
allow
course.
someone like Jimmy Horn and his smooth route running ability to get open in the red zone. He's a threat.
Perfect.
He's going to be a big threat, in my opinion. I really like how he fits in. And a hot take before I go, I appreciate you guys having me up, is
Yeah, man. Appreciate having you.
if Bryce Young does not start off hot and he doesn't keep you guys in contentions before the trade deadline, I do believe, the Panthers would be in line to trade for someone like Shadur Sanders in season. Have a good evening, guys. Thank you. Yes, sir.
That's a wild.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, I'm as a content creator, I'm not mad. That's a lot of views and clicks. But as a football fan, nah, that's yeah. Let's just say nah. You know what I'm saying?
That's a wild take. Wow.
Yeah, that was super wild.
I wanted to ask him what did Dolphin taste like, because we owe them, and my Panthers are hungry.
I don't know how dolphin tastes. I heard whale tastes pretty damn good, but that's
Hey, shark fan.
Yeah, shark fan's dope. I know shark fan's dope. Even
Can you-
frog,
can-
man. Y'all need to eat y'all some frog legs too. It really does taste like chicken.
Can you
man.
even eat dolphins? I thought dolphins were protected. Am I wrong with that?
Well, you know what? If you're not allowed to eat them, it's probably because they're too delicious. You know.
Damn.
But boys, another Friday night that the boy has to tap out a little bit early. Again, these shorter shows will probably only be for the next couple of weeks while me and Tony are getting the stream set up or getting our livelihoods and all the type of situation we've got going on set up. We appreciate y'all for being a part of the show each and every Friday. I'm going to go around and let everyone have their final words. I'm going to go to Surfside. Steve, we appreciate you as always, brother. Give us your final words this Friday for the free-for-all.
So far, everything is looking good. Everybody's nice and healthy and excited. And I'm looking to see what happens with Leaguette with some proper training and some coaching and some exercises and all that good stuff to make him a better player, because he probably didn't have that beforehand. So I'm looking to see him make a big jump there, and then the sky's the limit for him.
Yes, sir. Love it. Agreed. Next up, my man Poppin' Bullets from the Black Cat Panther Podcast. Pop, we appreciate you, brother. Give me your final thoughts for the free-for-all, man.
Great show. I'm adding to my list artisan cheese and fine wine, just like Xavier Leggett, and keep pounding.
Classy gentlemen. You know we love that over here. Yes, sir. Keep pounding, brother. Next up, my man, my friend, Jake the Snake. Jake, I appreciate your dedication, brother. You are indeed the man. Give me your final thoughts for the show today, man.
You know I love a Friday free for all, and I might not have no cheese, but I am getting my wine on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming season. Breaking down the schedule as we did the other day. At first I had my concerns about it, but actually breaking down with y'all, I kind of seen that we have some very favorable matchups, and I do think we're really going to have a great, solid season. I can't wait to see it. I'm hoping to go to at least 1 or 2 games. And, I'm not going to miss that Fan Fest for nothing. I'm going to be there.
Yes, sir.
Taking some pictures, man. I love that. Can't wait to meet all y'all. But love y'all.
Love
Keep
it.
pounding.
Keep pounding, brother. Appreciate you, man. Panther Pickle, final thoughts for the free-for-all, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Keep pounding. That's all I got.
I'll be damn. Pickle not having a bunch to say. It's gonna snow. Hey, man, last but never least, we always end the Friday with the brand ambassador, D's Ill Skills. D's, I love you, brother. Give me your final thoughts on this Friday evening, on this night's Friday free-for-all.
I know we're getting up out of here real quick, Cody, but let me ask you this. Do you feel like Jimmy Horn is going to kick Renfro off this team? Is he going to get Renfro cut? I saw that they changed his number. I sent you the link there. Renfro is going to be number 13 for the Panthers this year. Do you think that he doesn't make the team because of Jimmy Horn's performance in rookie training camp?
So how about this? If Hunter Renfro doesn't make the team because of Jimmy Horn Jr., I would be okay with it, and I would be happy because I'm for the youth movement. If Jimmy Horn can be a young player drafted in the 6th round for very cheap and be an ultimate producer for the Panthers, look, man, I'm literally wearing a Clemson shirt right now, but I have to go with the long-term production for my Carolina Panthers. So I would have to say I'm hoping that he does. I don't know if he will, but I'm hoping where we have a future maybe with both of them, although I don't know.
I don't either. I really don't. I think it's interesting. I think we've got problems we haven't had in a long time. I think we've got problems that we've been begging to see from this Carolina Panthers team. Some competitiveness added throughout the roster, like Panther Pickle was saying. Even in the tight end room, we've got competition of these players. Iron sharpens iron, as they say. Each of these players making each other better. And it bleeds over to the wide receiver room in a way that Panthers fans just didn't see this coming. And I'm telling you, we've got a fleet out here, guys. We've got an aircraft carrier and T-Mac out there catching everything his way. We've got speedboats and Jimmy Horn streaking down the field, finally stretching the field for the Carolina Panthers, something that we've been screaming about since we've drafted Bryce Young. We've got submarines in Adam Thielen. We've got submarines in Hunter Renfrow getting underneath the defense, finding little spaces and pockets in the zone defense to get open and catch those passes. We've got an entire fleet and Armada coming after the NFC South and trying to contend for that title this season. We should be excited for these Carolina Panthers. And like you said earlier, Cody, let's be excited for our star, Bryce Young. Let's let him emerge as a star in this league. Let's let him show everyone exactly what he can do and be the leader going forward for these Carolina Panthers and the longest running Panthers podcast. That's right. The C3 Panthers Podcast will be back live at 9 p.m. Become a super fan. Join this community. Because this community, Cody, it's where the fans matter.
C3 Legion, keep pounding.